his intern was put on a client project. A few weeks later, the intern cost the firm a client, a lawsuit, and his job.
I work at a Big Four consulting firm. During one of my client projects, I was informed by my senior manager that we would be getting an intern to join the project for 2 weeks. It was part of allowing the intern to get project experience. The project was a tech risk assessment of the client's control environment. Since the intern wasn't experienced or knowledgeable enough, I mostly used the intern to complete administrative and data entry tasks. Like most interns, this guy was eager to showcase his skills, and he wanted to add more value to the project. However, he would speak his opinions about controls and project assessments in front of the client. During status meetings, typically, it is a good thing when the intern wants to get involved. However, this intern would be incorrect in some of the things he would say in front of the client. So much so, I had to use our one-on-one to direct him on control concept, and I had to eventually ask him to not speak on off-topics discussion and to let me drive the meetings. I felt bad because I could see he wasn't happy with my request. But I didn't have a choice. I was getting complaints from my senior manager that the client was reaching out to her on certain comments the intern made to them during meetings that concerned them. I was also getting angry emails sent to me around the demanding requests for evidence my intern would send with 24-hour turnaround deadline dates. For someone who was only on my project for 2 weeks, he was making my job 10 times harder than it should have been. So, when the intern continued to make direct communication with the client, I started to get really annoyed, but decided to direct the intern to stop communicating with the client, and I left it at that. What I didn't realize until I had my one-on-one with my senior manager is that the intern did not take my feedback well at all. He decided to go over my head and complain to my senior manager that I was, quote, hindering his ability to learn by preventing him from learning client services. Since he made this complaint in the form of an email and CC the partner, I was asked to let him work on the request emails with my supervision. Anyone working as a consultant will know I didn't have a choice to say no. Not really. Consulting firms that care of their interns well because they want to enjoy the experience of projects. This isn't because they care. It is to color the intern's eyes with the glitz of the consulting world, so that when they get offered a full-time job at a shit rate, the interns happily accept. So, I decided to give the intern another chance. This time, I had him do data entry and email out the weekly status update deck. Well, it didn't take long before he messed that up too. This time, it was way worse. First, he told me that he found a potential breach in the system. He was comparing the client's firewall rules to an old access list. This kid got it into his head that some of the controls and data he was reviewing indicated a breach somehow, and that I was the incompetent manager that wasn't listening. I corrected him and asked him to send out the status slide for our call with the client the next morning. The next morning, I got a message from my senior manager and partner telling me to join a required Teams meeting. It turns out that the intern emailed the status deck as directed, but decided to add a required attention note to the client about the breach he found. Since he had all the key stakeholders contact, he added all of them to the email, along with the CISO and CIO. And to add to that, since I am the project lead, I was questioned on how I let this happen. I was so angry, but I knew that losing my emotions was not the way to handle this. I accepted accountability, while also explaining the intern's misbehavior was raised earlier. But the damage was done. The clients did not like the false alarm. We had to explain how there was no indication of a breach, and provide assurance that the work done to date was also accurate. There were some emails that were sent to senior level management on the client side that received the email and decided to terminate our contract and complete the work internally. We lost the client. The intern did not get a full-time job offer, and this incident was noted in my performance review. I was told later that the client was so pissed that they were looking into a lawsuit, although I doubt anything happened. Worst ending to a client project.
Thank you for watching. If you want more consulting stories like this, please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.